Jujutsu Kaisen has one of the most twisted family trees in modern shonen. Today we're going through every major character and breaking down exactly who their parents really are. Do you actually know who Gojo's parents are? Or Yuji's real mother? Or what happened to Maki and Mai before any of this story even started? Some of these reveals completely change how you see the entire series. So let's get into it. First up, Yuji Itadori. His parents are Jin Itadori and Kaori Itadori. Jin Itadori is Yuji's dad, a man who fell in love with a woman named Kaori and wanted nothing more than a normal family with her. Kaori died young. Years later, a woman who looked exactly like Kaori returned to his life. But it wasn't her. It was the freak Kenjaku, wearing her body as a vessel. Jin played house with him for years without knowing anything. His own father, Wasuke, warned him to give her up or it would cost him his life. Jin refused. He spent his life believing he had his family back, never knowing he'd been used to bring Sukuna's perfect vessel into the world. Now his mother, Kaori Itadori, was an actual Jujutsu sorcerer with a real curse technique called the anti-gravity system. But Kaori has a direct connection to Kenjaku, and Kenjaku eventually took over her body after her death. Kenjaku had been planning to make Yuji a vessel for Sukuna for a very long time, and to do this, he took over Kaori's body specifically so he could give birth to Yuji using Jin as the father. So Yuji isn't just randomly strong, he's the deliberate result of Kenjaku pairing the reincarnated soul of Sukuna's own twin with a body Kenjaku was actively piloting. Sukuna's disdain for Yuji isn't random hatred, it's a 1,000-year-old grudge against his own brother's reincarnated soul. Next up is Megumi Fushiguro. His father is Toji Fushiguro, a former member of the Zenin clan and an infamous assassin known as the Sorcerer Killer. Toji married Megumi's mother and took her last name because he no longer wanted to be associated with the Zenin name. Megumi's mother died shortly after giving birth to him, which sent Toji into a downward spiral. Megumi was born on December 22nd, 2002, and despite being born outside the clan, he's still recognized as a descendant of the Zenin family through his father, eventually becoming the clan's 27th head. Toji was born with heavenly restriction, a condition that blocked him from using cursed energy entirely in exchange for massively enhanced physical ability. Because of that condition, he was treated as an outcast by his own family. He later married a second time to Tsumiki's mother, making Tsumiki Megumi's stepsister. Gojo himself eventually killed Toji 10 years before the start of the series. What makes this connection wild is that Toji is also Maki's cousin, which means Megumi shares blood with the Zenin family's most chaotic generation without ever actually growing up inside their household. Moving on to Nobara Kugisaki. Nobara was born on August 7th, 2002 to an unnamed mother in a village and was raised by her maternal grandmother, a scarred Jujutsu sorcerer who taught her the straw doll technique. That's it. That's the entire confirmed backstory on her parents. Her father is never named or shown at all. Nobara's actual power comes entirely from her grandmother, not her parents, which makes her one of the only major characters in this story whose strength has nothing to do with a famous bloodline or a clan name. She built her entire identity from scratch in a small village away from everything the Zenin, Gojo, and Kamo families represent. Up next, Maki and Mai Zenin. Maki and her younger twin sister Mai were born into the Zenin clan on January 20th, 2002, as the daughters of Ogi Zenin and his wife. Ogi was the younger brother of Naobido Zenin, which made his daughters lower in the clan's pecking order from birth. Ogi was a self-centered man who put little value on his immediate family and cared only about his own status within the clan. He had no real respect for his wife and no compassion for his children whatsoever. That cruelty defines everything about Maki and Mai's childhood. Maki was born without the ability to perceive cursed spirits, which is part of why she was treated as the braver of the two twins. But the entire clan saw both sisters as worthless because neither could properly wield cursed energy. Their own father Ogi was denied the chance to become head of the clan specifically because Naobito's son Naoya was considered stronger than his daughters, which only deepened the family's resentment toward them. Maki eventually leaves the clan to train at Jujutsu High, and Mai, left behind, gets forced into sorcery against her will, resenting her sister for leaving her behind to deal with it. When Mai is dying, she uses her curse technique construction to forge one final object, a crack in Maki's heavenly restriction, sacrificing her remaining life force to break the seal blocking Maki's true strength. That sacrifice is what triggers the massacre. Maki wakes up unlocked, and from that point on, she wipes out nearly the entire Zenin clan, including her own father Ogi and her uncle's branch of the family, in retribution for everything they did to both her and her sister. Then there's Sukuna himself. Over 1,000 years ago, an infant Sukuna lived in the womb of a starving woman alongside his twin. Not wanting to starve, Sukuna consumed his twin in the womb, who would later reincarnate centuries down the line as Jin Itadori. Sukuna grew up living living a particularly lonely life and was treated as a wretch by everyone around him, which instilled in him a deep motive for revenge against the world. So technically, Sukuna's only confirmed parent is the unnamed starving mother who couldn't feed both of her children. Everything about who Sukuna becomes, the cruelty, the disdain for weakness, the complete lack of empathy, traces back to a mother who simply didn't have enough to keep both her sons alive, and a son who chose himself the moment it mattered. Next, Satoru Gojo. This one stays mostly a mystery on purpose. Gege Akutami confirmed Gojo is an only child, and since he's part of one of the 3 big clans, he has many relatives, but because he was treated specially from birth, he most likely never had normal interactions with them. His actual parents are never named or shown in the manga at all. No flashback, no death scene, nothing. That silence is intentional. Gojo's entire character is built around isolation, being the strongest person in any room and therefore never truly belonging in it. Even his own clan, the Gojo family, exists mostly as a name and a bloodline tied to the 6 eyes rather than as people we ever actually meet. His 6 eyes and limitless technique gave him untold power his parents reportedly never saw coming, but we never get to see what they actually thought of any of it because they're never given the chance to react on the page. Last but not least, Choso, Eso, and Kechizu. The Kamo family is one of the most esteemed sorcerer clans in this world, but generations ago, Noritoshi Kamo became a source of disgrace by subjecting a woman who could conceive cursed spirit offspring to cruel experiments, impregnating her repeatedly with cursed spirit human hybrids using his own blood and his cursed womb technique. It was later revealed that this Noritoshi Kamo was actually a host being piloted by Kenjaku, meaning Choso's father, in every meaningful sense, was Kenjaku wearing someone else's body. That makes Choso, Eso, and Kechizu siblings born from repeated cursed experimentation rather than anything resembling a real family. And it also means Choso and Yuji are technically blood relatives, both products of Kenjaku's long-running plan, just generations and methods apart. So that's every major bloodline in Jujutsu Kaisen. One sorcerer manipulating wombs, bodies, and entire family lines for over 1,000 years just to engineer the perfect vessel. Drop a comment if you want a part 2 covering Yuta's family, the Inumaki clan, and Kenjaku's full list of stolen bodies. And if you want more Jujutsu Kaisen breakdowns just like this one, subscribe. We've got plenty more coming. See you in the next one.